Tonight in Kansas City, an NCAA champion will be crowned. All season long, the rallying cry for this Nebraska Cornhusker team has been, why not us? They're here and have successfully silenced their skeptics. So indeed, why not Nebraska? The Florida Gators have been waiting for this moment since 2003, and now they have their second ever shot at history and their first ever NCAA title. Are they ready? Nebraska, Florida, for it all in KC. The higher seed, the number 2 seed, as a matter of fact, Florida will wear their home white jerseys, and we are set to go. Dig right on target, and Annika Albright out of the back row to start things off for Nebraska. 31-4 on the year. They were co-champions of the Big Ten at 19-1 with Penn State. Albright, a defensive specialist the first 3 years of her career, but now playing all the way around and very effectively on the left side. A couple of tough swings early for Carly Snyder, number 4 in white. That is dug by Florida, but a nice kill by number 26, Lauren Stivrins, the 6'4" redshirt freshman out of Scottsdale. There is Mary Wise, co-coach of the year in the Southeastern Conference in her 27th season, now with 905 wins overall. Very good start for Nebraska. They serve that ball just over the end line. Cart, some keys early to look for, and let's before that take a look at John Cook in his 18th year, Big Ten Coach of the Year, and also recently, as recently as just a couple of days ago, inducted to the AVCA Hall of Fame. Here is Al Hassan. Stivrins again. So, Karch, as I was about to say, let's take what do fans want to look for early on in this match in terms of trends, strengths, and weaknesses for both teams.
Well, certainly Nebraska is very strong, probably one of the best serving teams in the country and one of the best serve-receive teams in the country. So they want to win that battle. And one of the things they were talking about, we saw it the other night, Paige Hammonds, a backcourt specialist in the orange headband for Florida, she had great success against Stanford, so Nebraska is going to keep the ball away from her when they target the various serve-receive patterns.
Coming on to serve, one of 2 setters deployed by Florida. This is Ali Monserrat, 5'9" redshirt junior out of Windermere, Florida. Nice play on the slide, but sprayed long by Brianna Holman.
And another thing you can see, Paul, is Nebraska coming out with a lot of slide offense early. I think they feel like they have an advantage. Their slide hitters against the left side block of Carly Snyder, who's brought so much to her team. 2 of the best Florida servers coming up, with Monserrat now and Carly Snyder next.
Carly Snyder ripping inside the block, kept alive by, again, the digging machine of Nebraska. Snyder again from just inside the 3-meter line, and the first stuff block of the night administered by Nebraska.
One of Nebraska's defenders doing so well that time, Sydney Townsend, tracking the ball down, and Nebraska's been talking about at this semis and national finals, they have to be digging machines. They've got a couple of bigs for Florida coming at them. Ace, near ace for Nebraska, causing the point on the overpass.
Serving was such a big story for Nebraska on Thursday night against Penn State. They had 10 aces and only 11 errors. That is an outrageously successful ratio. Brianna Holman with a kill on the overpass. Right side to Joseph, registering her first kill, and no doubt that China Joseph, wearing number 15, is the emotional leader for this Florida Gators team.
She sure is. We got to keep an eye on it, because in timeouts, she's actually the one doing more of the talking. The coaches less. They defer to her first. Really the emotional leader after they beat Stanford. She said, we got to stick with Gator volleyball. That's emotional volleyball.
Sokolowski, her first swing, blocked again by Holman, and Carly Snyder loses her footing. And what might ordinarily be a pretty normal or easy routine play, Carly Snyder got her feet caught up, and a point for Nebraska. Best 3 out of 5 sets, first 4 sets to 25 points. If we play 5 like we did twice on Thursday night, we're going to a 15-point tiebreaker. Here is Michaela Fecke, a 6'3" junior out of West Point, Iowa. Good serve down the line, and the service ace for Nebraska.
And Paul Fecke wants to serve down the line for 2 reasons. Number 1, Sokolowski's not a very good passer. You see her bail out, and then Knoop has to try and cover. And number 2, they feel like it's going to limit the offense of Shaina Joseph. The ball is farther away on the far sideline.
Good comeback by Knoop, and 6'8" Rachel Kramer, 6'8" sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona, a third-team All-American. She won that award yesterday at the All-American luncheon. And going back to the first time these 2 teams met, she had 20 kills, and more on that first meeting, because that was a matchup that Florida won. But if you're Florida, you say, yeah, let's remember that one. Ooh, that could have been a double contact, letting them play early. But they were without Kelly Hunter.
Wow, some not very clean volleyball here early, Paul. Lots of nerves. That's a better touch.
That was a really nice set, but a better block by the best in the country statistically, number 1 in white, Ramat Al-Hassan.
Certainly another story to follow. The bigs, that is the big blockers, Snyder, and then also Ramat Al-Hassan, who touches over 11'3". Nebraska's hitters have to be very careful picking their spots around these 2 middle blockers who take up so much space.
Carolyn Knoop serving just over the end line. Third meeting all time between Florida and Nebraska in the NCAA tournament. Nebraska has won the previous 2 the last time they met a couple years ago. 2014 in the regional round. Perfect pass by Knoop. Pretty good touch out of the middle by Stivrins, number 26. And cut back again by Al-Hassan, who got off to a good start in their matchup against Stanford, but she was brilliant in the 4th and 5th sets.
And interesting, Nebraska's trying to go one-on-one. You'll see Stivrins in the middle across the net. She's all alone trying to stop somebody who touches 11'3". You can see Al-Hassan's hand was about 1.5 feet higher than Stivrins on the block.
Tough short serve. Freshman sweep is rejected again by Al-Hassan.
Well, I just said it. You got to pick your spots carefully, and you do not want to hit anywhere near Al-Hassan's armpits. That thing's going to come back harder. Watch that. That is not the place, the meat of the block, the low block that you want to hit against somebody like Al-Hassan.
Tied at 8. Good first contact on the dig, and then off the top of the net and out of bounds by Sokolowski. It's an interesting system that Mary Wise is running at Florida. They have 2 setters, but they really kind of run a 5-2 system, because Cheyenne Husky, the 6'2" sophomore out of Texas, is on now wearing number 11, and she's setting out of the front court. Florida settled in, passing the ball a little bit better, and the 6'2" Husky able to go over the top on the second contact for the kill for Florida.
And that's exactly why she's in the game, Paul, playing front court. You mentioned it. They play a 1-setter off of what we call a 5-1, which is normally a 1-setter offense, but they share times. It's like having 2 point guards, a back row quarterback with Montserrat, and then a front row setter with Husky.
Off-speed shot and put to the floor successfully once again by Snyder.
Yeah, Snyder hasn't really had much to swing at. Lots of trouble sets around the 3-meter line or even more off the net. Impressive she got that to the floor.
Averages about 3.5 kills per set, but does take an awful lot of pressure. Very difficult swings, does Snyder. And that's going to be a net violation called against Nebraska and Annika Albright. And so Florida coming back quickly to take the 11-9 advantage.
Yep, and Florida likes that matchup. If they can cause trouble, the set's going to have to go out to Albright, and then they've got a 6'2" Husky and Ramat Al-Hassan. Goes back out that way. Another strong block, and they get the touch.
Good read by Albright on the second contact, up into the block once again by Al-Hassan. And a better block by Nebraska. Lauren Stivrins matching up.
But you notice how low that set was, Paul. That's something that we track. When Al-Hassan has to twist her body like that, she wasn't able to make contact at full extension. You got to put her up there, way up in the stratosphere.
Well, we called it the penthouse. It's higher than that last set. Make no doubt about that. Fecky trying to go high and hard. That against Cheyenne Husky, who gets the block on the outside for Florida. Good blocking start so far for the Gators. And timeout called by Nebraska. The national finals, the championship up for grabs between Nebraska and Florida. The Huskers going for number 5. The Gators looking for their first. Let's take a look at tonight's planning for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Let me just remind you that all we're asking for each of you is the best version of yourself, because the best version of us individually, collectively, is the best team out there, okay? And I believe it says some things have to be believed to be seen. I believe we're gonna see. Deal?
The words from 27th year head coach Mary Wise in the Florida locker room right before they came out to warm up. Neither team good offensively right now, Karch. As a matter of fact, Nebraska's got more hitting errors than kills. And for Florida, they're just hitting 0-48.
We're only halfway through this first set, and each team with 3 blocks, each team essentially on double or better their pace. Lots of strong blocking at the net.
And coming out of the timeout, Al-Hassan with the air. What do you think John Cook was talking to his Nebraska team during that timeout?
Well, I think they got to be careful. They don't want to challenge. We saw that low swing into Rahman Al-Hassan's armpits, and she checks out. But then you have 6'8" Carly Kramer. Rachel Kramer.
Nice swing by Carly Snyder on the left side.
And so with Kramer up there and Husky, they're just putting up a block that is so far very difficult for the Nebraska left side hitters, Albright and Michaela Fecky, to hit around.
Second kill off the left side for Snyder. Here is Montserrat.
Carly Snyder all over that.
Trying to go to Kramer out of the middle, and that was a very nice job in transition.
Yeah, and it starts with the floor defense. Carly Snyder's not involved in the play, so she comes in and gets that roll shot that hit the floor earlier when Albright got her first kill.
Remember, when these two teams met back in August, it was Rachel Kramer with a career-high 20 kills. Nice contact, and then back to Kramer. Once again, really good touch by Carolyn Knope, the libero, wearing number 6 for Florida.
And Florida is really exploiting its advantage in the middle with a jumper and Al-Hassan, who jumps well and is 6'4", and then 6'8", Rachel Kramer.
Montserrat doing a good job serving tough down the line. Fecky has yet to get untracked. And finally off the top of the block and down, Michaela Fecky, the MVP of this tournament back in 2015. Gets in the stat sheet. Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, you saw that last dig a few minutes ago with Caroline Knope. She is playing with a broken right hand. The bone that runs along the outside of her pinky finger broken on November 8th. She has been a warrior. They've got her in a splint. She's back there digging like you know what, and she is paddling through pain to be out here on the floor with her team.
That ball missed just out of bounds, going back to Kramer once again. So a couple of kills, and this one just over the end line, Karch.
And maybe most importantly for Carolyn Knope, normally when she forms her platform, when she's going to play the ball underhand, she grabs her left hand with her right. Now she's had to switch that grip and grab the padded right hand with her left. That's very difficult to do, to completely switch your grip to play both serve receive and defense, and that's one reason we're seeing Nebraska testing her out with some of their aggressive serving. Mistake there, don't want to serve to the orange headband, but Nebraska gets a break with the hitting error.
Back-to-back errors for Florida. The ball hit out of bounds by Shaina Joseph. And on the overpass, just like that, Nebraska right back in this opening set. For the national championship, Nebraska and Florida now tied at 15. And Nebraska, team that lost last year in the semifinals, lost an awful lot more than that with respect to their roster. But we don't rebuild at Nebraska, we reinvent ourselves.
There is never an acceptable year in terms of rebuilding. They lost those All-Americans. They lost 2 great assistants who went on to become head coaches, so hired 2 new ones, 8 new players. They had to completely reinvent themselves. And they go to their 3rd straight semifinal, never done before by Nebraska, seeking, of course, their 5th national championship, the 4th for John Cook.
Here's Kelly Hunter back to serve. Nebraska won in 2015, lost in the semis last year, and beat Penn State on Thursday night. Working on Knoop. Good set to Snyder, but dug again down the line by Nebraska. Snyder looking for the deep cross-court corner, and now the run, and it's all built right now on errors by Carly Snyder in Florida. It's a 5-0 run for Hunter and Nebraska to recapture the lead. Career high 23 digs for Hunter on Thursday night, and an ace serve.
And remember, with that pad on Knoop's hand, it's harder for her to go to the floor, so she hesitated a little there. Also, some confusion between her and Paige Hammonds, passing in the middle of the court right now.
Hunter looking over to the Nebraska sideline to get serving instructions, and back to Knoop again. Florida really stuck in this rotation. Fecky going high flat.
Nice adjustment by Michaela Fecky. She got blocked a few times earlier. Then we saw her go off speed down the line, high seam, taking the tall and the big block of Florida out of the picture.
The run continues now at 6.
Uh-oh.
Boy, you don't see that very often. The All-American and Big Ten Setter of the Year, Kelly Hunter. A little bit of a shank there, but did a very nice job back at the service line. So now it's Florida's turn to try to run some points, trailing 18-16. And the right woman at the line, Carly Snyder, had 3 aces against Stanford on Thursday.
But controlled perfectly by Nebraska.
Fecky once again ripping through the block that time of Kramer and Sokolowski. Karch, do you see an adjustment here from Michaela Fecky? She's a little bit slow early, really didn't get on the board until her 7th swing, and now she's got 4 straight kills.
No, she's chosen much better spots than early when she was just trying to blast the ball low through the block. That wasn't going to get it done.
Right side unloading is Shaina Joseph, the 6'1" redshirt senior out of Ottawa, Canada, who has waited a long time, Karch, to get this opportunity.
Yeah, and she likes it when the pass gets the setter closer to her. The set doesn't have to travel much. They can run a faster set, put more stress on the Nebraska blockers.
Former middle blocker is Joseph. She doesn't like to wait. She wants to go. Nice reaction by Nebraska once again. Speaking to the Nebraska coaches, particularly assistant Tyler Hildebrand, he said, we really want balance in this match. And so far, Fecky with 4, Holman with a couple, Stivrins and Albright right there as well. There is Hildebrand in his first year in Lincoln. Highly respected coach. Tough serve that drifts just over the end line once again.
Yeah, he was like the hardest working guy in coaching, coaching club, coaching Long Beach State, helping with the USA men, and then he coached a beach volleyball team at the Rio Olympics, and then he was going back and forth to finish that last season at Long Beach State this past spring, spending some brief periods of time before he came here full-time in June, or came not here but to the Lincoln program.
Sokolowski, tight set, nice reaction by Jazz Sweet. Florida fans thought that ball was outside the antenna, and then a swing and a miss by Ramad Al-Hassan. critical stab to keep the ball alive by sweet number 12.
Yeah, really nice hustle. And she gets, remember, she is left-handed, but she gets her right hand on this play and keeps it alive. And then a really bad swing and a near miss by Al Hassan.
And that ball drifts just out of bounds. Nebraska is going to serve very tough. They did that successfully against Penn State the other night. They've missed a few.
But Paige Hammonds checks in, and she's going to help as Florida's one of their best passers, if not the best receiver of serve, going to help calm down that serve reception on the Florida side of the net.
Hammonds was critical on Thursday night. You wouldn't know it by looking at the stat sheet, but her teammates know it. What a dig by Knope. Another stab, tough angle, and that one up into the antenna. Carolyn Knope, as Holly told you, playing with a broken right hand. The transfer from Michigan out of Pasadena, California. Just digging the ball beautifully.
Playing with that reverse grip. Only one good hand to grab the platform together.
Albright back to serve. Nebraska 22-20. That 6-0 run for Nebraska has given them the advantage here in the opening set, but still time for Al Hassan in Florida. Snyder off the block and out of bounds. Al Hassan will give way to 5'5" freshman out of Tampa, Florida, Chanel Hargraves. Came in and served some big points in that 5-set win on Thursday night for the Gators over the defending champion Stanford Cardinal. I'd like to welcome everybody joining us now on ESPN2. This is the 37th NCAA championship match. A crowd of over 18,000 on hand here in Kansas City, and this is what's at stake. Nebraska looking for their 5th national championship, and Florida with a service error, Karch Kirai looking for their first, and Nebraska now within 2 points of the opening set. Into the antenna and out of bounds, and now set points for Nebraska. And timeout called by Florida. Boy, an awful lot of very, very tough pressure swings for Carly Snyder on the outside. She is really a key, only 3 of 15 so far. There's the Florida huddle, and as usually the case, their emotional leader, Shina Joseph, will get the first set of words before the head coach steps in. Nebraska came in as the number 5 seed, the co-champions of the Big Ten Conference along with Penn State, the team that they ousted in 5 sets on Thursday night, 31-4 on the year. The Florida Gators co-champions with the University of Kentucky of the SEC in the NCAA championship. So for the 2nd time, they have never won it. They were in the championship match back in 2003. Nebraska's most recent championship was in 2015. And Michaela Fecke, the MOP in 2015, wants to hold that trophy again.
One of only 3 freshmen ever to win that title. The other 2, of course, Deja McClendon in 2010 for Penn State, and in the 1990s, Carrie Walsh as a freshman leading Stanford to the title.
12th meeting overall between John Cook's Nebraska Cornhuskers and Mary Wise's Florida Gators. And it has been Nebraska with the 8-3 advantage, meeting for the 3rd time ever in the NCAA tournament. Florida had the early lead, but then it was that 4, then 6, then 7-0 run for Nebraska that has given them this opportunity to take the opening set, and they'll have a couple of tries at it.
And Paul, this is big because Florida would love, and in fact now they're bringing in the setter who probably controls the ball a little better. But if this play goes on, if they don't put that first swing away, look for Nebraska to set toward the weaker blocker, Ali Monserrat. Florida would love to score this point so they can rotate and get China Joseph back into the game in the front court.
Here is libero Kenzie Maloney, set point number 1. Good pass by Knoop. Fecky's going to have a look at Monserrat on the line and cuts it inside. Michaela Fecky with her 5th kill. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers have taken the opening set over the Florida Gators. You're watching the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual as we bring you back inside the Sprint Center. And the opening set goes to the Nebraska Cornhuskers 25-22. Back with Karch Kirai and Paul Sunderland. And for the Florida Gators, they struggled midway through that opening set with their serve receive, and that led to some real struggles, particularly on the left side against Nebraska's block.
Huge difference between the first contact on the Nebraska side and the first contact on the Florida side. Typically what you'll see is the Nebraska setter, Kelly Hunter, she just won't have to run around much. She's standing in the middle of the court close to the net, being able to run her offensive patterns anywhere. On the other side of the net, setters for Florida running all over the place, and they're just not able to run their offense crisply. That's as a result, their hitters who hit at the sidelines are hitting negative for this match so far.
That 7-0 run by Nebraska as well was their quality of contact, either on the dig or the block deflection, has been absolutely superb. And serve receive right on target again for Nebraska.
Exactly. Both serve receive, and there's a serve receive. Kelly Hunter running the offense from the middle of the court. And when you can do that, you're what we call in system. Your setters on the dime in the middle of the court, and your hitters can run all of their patterns. They're all available. Good pass percentage. Look at the difference there. A good pass percentage is 60 or above. Nebraska playing at a high level. Florida having lots of trouble with the serve receive, handling those tough Nebraska serves.
And on Thursday night against Stanford, known as a very good serving team, it was Florida that was above 60. Another perfect pass. Stivrins, however, slowed for the moment until All-American setter Kelly Hunter, the 5'11" redshirt senior out of Papillion, Nebraska, throws that ball to the floor. Kenzie Maloney and the Nebraska Cornhuskers dug 90 balls on Thursday night against Penn State. And then they were really efficient as the match wore on in transition.
Yeah, and Coach Cook signaling that's exactly where he wanted his server to put the ball, deep down the line.
Look at that, right on target. Hunter trying to go quickly on 2. Nice read by 6'8" Kramer, who tiptoed the block. And speaking of block, Brianna Holman stuffing number 5 Kramer.
We showed it earlier. Remember, Rachel Kramer had 20 kills the first 2 times the first time these two teams met. Of course, Nebraska lost that match, but they did not have their emotional leader, the straw that stirs their drink, Kelly Hunter.
Snyder having to take another tough swing, and then throw down against Kramer is Brianna Holman, the 6'1" senior out of DeSoto, Texas, began her career at LSU.
And we saw another quality first contact by Nebraska so they could run get the set to their middle, run the quick offense.
Knoop, nice play in system to the 6'2" Husky, able to tip that ball over and register the kill for the Florida Gators, and they are on the board here in the second.
And of course now for Florida, China Joseph, who's had such a huge tournament after playing only 2 plays in their whole NCAA tournament last year, checks back in. She's a key front row player for them. They've got to get her going. She only has 2 kills but 1 error on 7 swings so far. They want her to play a much bigger role in their offense, but they're not passing the ball well enough to get her attempts.
Here is Hunter once again. Remember, she scored match points against Penn State on a slam dunk, and she just registered another. There is Joseph ripping down the line. Shaina Joseph was a middle blocker when she arrived in Gainesville, and then was switched over to the outside, was all ready for her sophomore year, and then sprained her ankle so badly she got knocked out of the rotation. Redshirted her junior year, played behind Alex Holston in her redshirt junior year, and now made second team All-American in this, her 5th and final year for the Gators. A service winner for Carly Snyder.
And Coach Wise gives so much credit to Joseph. She said, you know, how many other student athletes would have thought about transferring, trying to get more playing time, but there was never a question of her sticking with the Florida program.
Did you see that pass? What a brilliant pass that time by Sydney Townsend.
On the dime, Kelly Hunter didn't have to move at all. Sometimes you got to reach way outside your body line. That was actually Annika Albright. And a great touch by her after the ace by Carly Snyder on the jump spin.
Kramer cross body. Once again off the perfect pass.
That's what Florida needs more of. They have a real advantage in the middle with the 6'8" Kramer and the high-flying Al Hassan. But if they don't have good first contacts, they can't get them the ball.
Rachel Kramer so far 4 of 9, and for Amat Al Hassan just 1 of 7. Got off to a reasonably slow start against the Stanford Cardinal, and then as we talked about right before first serve, the 4-time All-American really turned it on, going 8 for her last 11. Albright looking for high hands and misses that, out of bounds. There is Gregory, the defensive specialist, trying to go short, gets it on the middle blocker. And then Jazz Sweet, the freshman out of Tecumseh, Kansas, who was really solid against Penn State. Sweet put up 12 kills on 24 swings, hit .375. She finally gets in the book.
Yep, she was big, came up with some crucial kills in that 5th, late in the 4th, and all through the 5th set in that semifinal.
Back row combination, and it's Michaela Fecke registering the kill once again. But it started with a poor pass by Florida.
And a good pass by Albright when Nebraska got their chance at a first contact. Really, Nebraska winning in a big way the battle of the first contact. And that one goes over.
Right on top of the net, and a redirected two-hand slam dunk by the 6'4" Stivrins.
That's not credited as an ace ball, but I call it an ace because it leads to a direct point. You don't want to put the ball over the net where the blockers for Nebraska can get their hands on it.
Stivrins had 9 stuffs on Thursday night.
That's a better pass.
And that's going to be a double contact thrown up by Sydney Townsend after the nice dig down the line. Nebraska won the opening set thanks to a 7-0 run over Florida, 25-22, and leading here in the second as Paige Hammonds comes on 9-6. Stivrins, good contact. Boy, life is easy for a Nebraska setter right now.
It sure is. They give her a lot of credit to one of their 2 new assistant coaches who did so much of that for Team USA the past number of years, right through a bronze medal performance in Rio at the Olympic Games. Kayla Banworth, who joined the program in January. She's been working with those passers a lot, and that's giving them a big advantage in this match. That first contact of Nebraska.
Ramat Al Hassan comes right back, registering her second kill. Hitting over 400 on her career. That's just her second kill. Overpass there. 6'8" Kramer's got to put that ball to the floor. And that cost Florida a point. Fecke down the line.
You are right. You don't get that many poor first contacts from Nebraska. When you have a rare one like that, you've got to take advantage. Completely let Nebraska off the hook by not throwing it hard enough down to the floor.
Fecky leading the way offensively now for both teams with 7 kills.
And another poor first contact for Florida.
And a really tough chance here. Smart shot up into the block to restart the point. Kelly Hunter, the setter, getting a whack at it on the right side.
She's like, look what I found. They actually don't hesitate to set her. She's got a pretty good arm swing.
We were told that there would be as many as 14,000 Nebraska fans here in Kansas City tonight. It sounds like a home match. And Nebraska's playing pretty comfortably, up 1-0 and leading here in the second 12-7.
The NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently. And in part by Little Caesars, home of the large, hot and ready classic pepperoni pizza for only $5.
This was Florida arriving here at the Sprint Center a couple of hours ago. It's been a wonderful 4 days here in KC. Huge crowds, wonderful semifinals, the longest semifinal in history, 2 hours and 51 minutes. And that's including side-out scoring. That was really remarkable.
One of the reasons the sport switched to rally scoring, scoring on every point, was so there wouldn't be any more 2-hour and 45-minute matches. But with the challenge and the intermission, that was a long battle. In fact, 2 great ones. First time since 2008. 2 5-set matches, and more trouble on the first contact for Florida. There's a net, but she was outside the antenna.
Crowd doesn't like it, but absolutely the right call. Florida needs to get out of this.
Nice.
What a dig again by Albright. Uh-oh. Ball too tight to the net. Dug again, right on target. Snyder off the inside hand to Brianna Holman and down. And boy, did Florida need that as they creep back within 4. Let's go over to Holly Rowe again.
You guys were just talking about the longest match in semifinal history. Nebraska, after that match, it was so epic. They were so wound up, they couldn't go to sleep. They really tried to put some emphasis on recovery and getting their bodies right. So they actually did a group meditation so they could calm their minds down and have energy enough to go to sleep after that match.
Holly, I'm breaking a confidentiality here, but Karch and I did the same thing. we went to a dark corner up in the penthouse of the hotel and had a meditation session as well.
After those 2 matches.
Was it good for you?
I felt very refreshed.
Nebraska leading 13-8. Right side, China Joseph beautifully placed in the deep cross court corner.
Yep, Florida has to get Joseph going. She's been such a pivotal part of their game, their gator style of volleyball. First of all, just with the offense she brings, and then secondly with the energy and the emotion she brings.
Fecky comes right back on the right side. Michaela Fecky now with 8 kills. Both teams struggled offensively in the opening set. Not so for Nebraska here in the second, hitting over 560 after that kill from Michaela Fecky, who's back at the line.
And Paul, one of the things that you notice about Fecky, some players will, if they start slow, they're going to struggle the whole match in a match like this. She started slow and turned it on, and it's been hot since. And then a great block at the net by Annika Albright, who's got very good technique. Watch her turn, run, swing her arms, and put them in the perfect place. She even reached left. That's really good eye work by her, because she saw that Joseph was going to hit the line, reached outside her body.
Going back to Joseph, looking for the deep cross court corner and missing that out of bounds. And back to Albright. I was speaking with assistant coach Tyler Hildebrand, and he said, you watch for Albright, number 17. She's only 6 feet tall, but one of our best blockers, because as you said, Kurt, she reads the game so well. That was an absolutely perfect example, reaching outside her body line to stuff Shina Joseph.
And that was actually 2 for the price of 1, Paul, because she stuffs the first one, and then Joseph hits out trying to avoid the block on the second swing. And so in lots of ways huge for Nebraska to slow Joseph down and cause hitting errors.
Here is Knoop. And Jazz Sweet turns the ball down the line, registering yet another kill. The 6'3" freshman grew up 62 miles from Kansas City.
And she's got, speaking of vision, some great vision. That time she saw that the opening was down the line, hit it past Knoop, but there were lots of times she was hitting inside the block of Penn State for kills the other night.
That ball well over the sideline. Heather Atherton, the backup setter, also playing some defensive specialist, missed that ball down the line. Really interesting, you know, about this Nebraska team. There were a lot of doubters, and we talked about after they lost the Rolfsons and Justine Wong Orantes, everybody said this team can't possibly, with the competition the way it's set up with Stanford coming back, but they just said, hey, why not us? And that has been the theme all season long. Stivrins here, stuffed by Al Hassan. Are you surprised that they were able to get to this championship match after everything that they lost last year due to graduation?
I am surprised. I don't think they are as much, though. Somebody like Annika Albright, she said, look, we have a championship environment here. There are no rebuilding years, and they restocked with new coaches, new players, came up with a theme. In fact, lots of themes, but the big one is with each other, for each other. And the players came up with that, and they've really bought in. Michaela Fecke says that for this year, it's much more about chemistry. Last year, it was more about the talent and the extra All-Americans that they had.
That ball missed badly by Cheyenne Husky. And one of the things that Michaela Fecke told us in our meetings was that we train in Nebraska to beat big physical teams. They did yesterday, or I should say Thursday on Stanford, and now they're leading Florida comfortably.
I think she just thrives on the big stage, and she's played great in our big matches, and she just, I think, really enjoys it. And if you look at her expressions and her emotion, I mean, she's really even keeled.
And I was crediting her earlier for, even though she had a slow start, she's the kind of player who can make some adjustments and get right back to the kind of game that she wanted to have, and the game that she had 2 years ago, leading this team as a freshman to a title in 2015.
Mentioned that Fecke comes from West Point, Iowa, a small border town. And in order to really advance her career, she had to join a club in Chicago and drove 4 hours with her mother every weekend for private coaching sessions and to play with her club team.
And she also had to switch positions. She was preparing to play opposite, to play behind the setter, but they switched her to the left side. They thought her arm swing was better suited to that, and she does have a cannon for an arm. That time, Albright coming up with the transition play. Opportunity all created by the tough serving in Nebraska. Another poor first contact for Florida.
This is Sydney Townsend, the senior from right in Lincoln. Smart shot up into the block by Husky. Reset the point. Right side. No, not yet. Good shot. And oh, deep cross-court corner, but called out of bounds. The challenge system is in play. That one was awfully close. You can challenge ball in or out. That one might be worth another look.
Awfully close, and notice that Paige Hammonds, oh, no, actually that looked out. Looked like it landed all in the blue. Paige Hammonds is normally playing in the backcourt. They set her here. They're trying a different combination in the front court to try to get their offense going.
Let's go over to Holly Rowe.
Well, in that last timeout that Florida called, Mary Wise said, it is now. We have got to get this figured out. She said, I want to see a change on your faces. We're being too tentative. The players that were emotional speaking in the huddle, Ramat Al-Hassan, she said, guys, this is our moment. We're getting way too far behind.
Rare opportunity. Missed first ball contact by Nebraska. Snyder not there. And once again, Kelly Hunter, just like she did on match point against Penn State, as she has done 2 or 3 times already tonight, registering a kill. That's 4 kills on 6 attempts for the setter.
No errors. And look at those hitting percentages. This set, Nebraska at a cool .500 hitting efficiency.
Good touch on the outside. One-on-one block by Hunter to Fecky. And Ramat Al-Hassan going behind, and number 1 in white registering the kill. And Florida obviously leads a lot more of that, trailing 22-14.
Yeah, for most of her career, she's been really effective hitting off 2 feet, but working hard there to go behind the setter and use that layup approach, that one-footed approach. She's adding that to her game, and that's an important skill to have as a middle.
Here's Hargraves. Snyder in transition. Good swing. Did she get a piece of the block? Nope. Just out of bounds that time once again by Carly Snyder. Mary Wise is thinking about challenging, and Carly Snyder said yep. And there is the green card, and we'll have our first challenge of this championship match. You can challenge ball in or out, ball off a player, a net violation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great
yeah.
view
Oh, yeah.
there.
I thought there was a touch when I first saw it live.
Man, the slow-mo camera, though, caught that. Almost broke her fingers.
And
Surprised they missed that.
You can also challenge a foot fault on the serve.
One of the keys, Paul, you only get 3 of those challenges for the whole match. And when you're down by this much, that's a factor that the coach is going to have to figure out is, do I want to save those challenges for later? Because this game, this set is almost out of reach, but they decided to use one of their 3 there, and that should get overturned, should be point Florida.
Oh, yeah, that's obviously a touch. So the ball will come off the point, off the board for Nebraska. Yeah, that is an obvious touch. Florida 30-1, their only loss at home to Kentucky. Nebraska currently at 31-4, looking for their 5th championship. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the FCS Football National Championship Saturday, January 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA FCS Football Championship, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 championships. Back with Karch Kirai and Holly Rowe. I'm Paul Sunderland. Florida into the championship match for the first time since 2003, and really looking up right now at Nebraska, trailing by 7 here in the second. Good cut inside, and again, but dug twice by Fecky. Kelly Hunter does a really good job keeping balls alive at the net. And Michaela Fecky does a really good job at putting them on the floor. Set points for Hunter, Fecky, and Nebraska. Excuse me. Make it 23. That's okay, Karchi. No problem. I take coaching well. No problem.
My fault on that. Got a little ahead.
Here is Snyder again, and does get that one inside of Holman. Still time, but it would take a miracle for Snyder out now in Nebraska. Excuse me, Florida. Here's Monterey. Fecky again changing speeds. That ball set well off the net. Here is Joseph, cross court. That time in front of Townsend. 23-17. And head coach John Cook in Nebraska not taking any chances at all. Again, it would take a miracle comeback. But Florida wants to get something going positively against Nebraska before they head into the locker room. Holiday Hoops are back on ESPN Sunday with a great top 25 matchup. The number 7 Tar Heels are in Knoxville to take on the number 20 Volunteers. College basketball next Sunday at 3 Eastern on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. We got a timeout. Let's go over to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, one of the things we're seeing in this match is Kelly Hunter, the setter of Nebraska, has just been masterful. In fact, her coach, John Cook, says she is a master. Some setters just have that feel for what, when, and she has it. It has been beautiful to watch her this season as she really helps this team that is not talented as they have been in the past, but collectively still very strong. A lot of people realize she is overcoming an injury that occurred right before the season. Although they have kept it private what it was, I do know that it was something significant. So to her, she has fought through that, has had to really fight this season to be healthy all the time and do rehab, and she has been nothing short of masterful tonight.
The All-American first-team setter and Big Ten setter of the year, number 3, Kelly Hunter, having a big night. Not only running the offense, but taking advantage and putting some balls to the floor, Karch.
And we've been talking about her teammate, her outside hitter teammate, Michaela Fecke, but even Fecke will say she is the driving force in this engine, in this Huskers team.
Fecke leading the way offensively with 9 kills. Brianna Holman again. The key for Nebraska is balance. Holman with 5, Kelly Hunter with 4, Lauren Stivrins with 4, and Annika Albright with 3. Hunter didn't play in that first match in late August because of that injury that Holly talked about. Florida with a little bit of momentum here, but again, Rachel Kramer, who was really good against Nebraska in that first meeting, missed it out of bounds. And now we've got some set points. Boy, Florida needs to get to the locker room for this intermission, reconfigure, reset themselves. It has been all Nebraska so far. They won the opening set 25-22, and no doubt at all here in the second. Off the head of Holman. Fecke off the block and down, and Nebraska leads this championship match 2-0. They take the second 25-17. Teams will head into the locker room. You look at the numbers, Nebraska hits 417 in that second set, and still Florida really struggling to find some offensive rhythm. Let's go over to the sideline and Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, how did you describe the really calm demeanor of your group right now?
It doesn't feel calm. Both teams are really trying hard. Both teams are really pumped up. It's some good volleyball, some not so good volleyball, but that's what a national championship's about. But we've been able to stay pretty much point by point right now. Not when we give up a couple points, we hang in there pretty good.
One thing you've been able to do is really disrupt Florida's passing. You knew this was one of your better serving teams. How have you been attacking in that regard?
Well, we've got 2 things. We go after players and we go after zones, and it just depends on what rotation we're in. But we're doing everything we can to keep them from setting the middles.
So far, so good. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
So far, so good indeed. Nebraska passing perfect at over 60%, and Florida at just barely 40. And that is the reason why Nebraska is now 1 set away from their 5th NCAA title here in KC. You're watching the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. And so far here for the 37th NCAA Volleyball Championship, it has been all the number 5 seeded Nebraska Cornhuskers up 2-0, 25-22 and 25-17. Back with Karch Kirat. I'm Paul Sunderland. If Florida doesn't sort things out or find a better way to deal with Nebraska's pinpoint serving, this could be a short night.
It sure could. It all comes down to that first contact, and Nebraska is putting so much pressure on the serves. Coach Cook talked about it, hitting zones and also hitting seams, and Nebraska is particularly good at hitting seams. There's one right down the line, and then coming at us, got a seam between those 2 players, confusion, more seams, and that's a great place to serve. Big seam here, attacked, and so they're forcing those passers of Florida to move a lot just to touch the ball. That first contact's really hurting Florida's offense.
Teams are out on the floor, but moments ago our Holly Rowe caught up with Florida's Mary Wise.
Well, Coach Wise, I see you huddled up a long time with your staff. What are the #1 things you want to correct here for the 3rd set?
there's a few. One, obviously, Nebraska's winning the serve pass game. We just haven't done a very good job defensively, but the biggest struggle has been our offense. You know, you hate to have it in this match at this point, a setter-hitter misconnection that really should have been fine-tuned. But I get it. For some of our young players, it's a new situation for them. But there's not another group I'd rather be in this situation to work our way out of it.
Your middles in particular are hitting negative percentage. How can you get them? I know it starts with the pass, but how else can you get them more involved?
Yeah, we need our setters to be a little bit more aggressive and make that connection, do what they've done all year. But you're right, we got to get our middles involved. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Holly. Speaking with the Nebraska coaching staff, that was certainly a huge focus. And four-time All-American Ramad Al-Hassan is just 3 of 11 with a couple of errors, hitting .091. She hits .413 for her career, and 6'8" Rachel Kramer-Karch just 4 of 15. Got to get the middle started, but have to find some offense. Florida, which hit almost 300 on the year, held to .065, and Nebraska doing a brilliant job defensively.
Yeah, and the reason that Florida can't run its middle attack is because their first contact just is not going close to the net often enough or into the middle of the court often enough. You see their setters, Ali Monserrat and Cheyenne Husky, having to sprint all around the court, and that's no way to get the ball to Ramad Al-Hassan and to Rachel Kramer.
A little bit of maintenance being done out on the floor. Maybe there was a little bit of blood, so they're taking those precautions. We mentioned that there were record-setting crowds here at the Sprint Center. Kansas City has been a wonderful host, a new record, 18,516. On Thursday night, it was 18,347. A lot of red here, Karch. A lot of red. And it's not about the Kansas City Chiefs.
And what a great sign for volleyball. Just that new crowd record. It keeps getting bigger and bigger every year.
Gonna have to go to a dome. Yeah. Holly, what do you got?
Well, it's really cool. This building is absolutely packed, and a lot of it is Husker Nation. But the cool thing is Husker basketball played Kansas today. They lost a heartbreaker by 1 point, but everybody is staying to watch volleyball on the Jumbotron in Lincoln as well. So we have 2 arenas that might be pretty full.
Just underway here in the third. Must-win situation, obviously, for Carly Snyder in Florida. Snaps over the top. Albright, again, has been everywhere defensively.
That set goes wide.
Joseph trying to get untracked. Another dig by Nebraska. Joseph again, finally off the edge and out of bounds. That's a pretty good place to go. There's no defense over there by the Nebraska bench.
Anywhere they're hitting in the court, it seems to be coming up. That was a theme from all the Huskers when we met with them before the semifinals. We have to be digging machines. First against a high-power offense with Penn State in the semifinals, and then more high power with these middles for Florida. Gotta make a great first contact on defense.
Joseph tries to chop into the cross court. Caught a piece of the tape and also a piece of the sideline.
And I think that's smart. When Florida's getting those touches, they're getting the ball to Joseph. She's their emotional leader, and if she gets a couple kills, they can really light it on fire.
Good serving here by Snyder to give him some looks. Got to keep that ball on your side of the net, and Snyder knows it.
Yeah, she is really angry at herself. She made the perfect read. She's in the right spot, but she sends it back over the net. See, she didn't even have to move to play that ball, but don't put it on top of the net for Fecky to unload.
There is Kenzie Maloney, the libero, 5'8" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky.
And another tough serve. Florida setter on the run.
Fecky looking for hands and missed the 6'8" Kramer into the cross court. We looked at the numbers, Karch, and not only are Fecky and Albright and Maloney, among others, digging a lot of balls, but they hit a superb number, 293 in transition. That's a big number at this level of play. And that ball served just out of bounds by Florida.
And what transition means, it's if you receive serve and you pass, you make the first contact, set and swing, that's your first ball offense. Anything beyond that, longer in the rally or off defensive plays when you serve, that's your transition. Winning that game, huge. Nebraska.
That's going to be a tight call there. They called Monserrat for being a back row blocker, and Brianna Holman, as you should do as a middle hitter, went up there and took a big whack at it.
Looking to crush some fingers there. That ball has to break the plane of the net. It looked like it did that, so Holman can attack that even while Monserrat is trying to set.
Ramada Hassan. That's what Florida needs, as they had it against Stanford in the semifinals when she went 8 of 11 late to close out the Cardinal.
Yep, and there was a stretch ball in that semifinal where Al Hassan, hitting and blocking, basically scored 5 points in a row. They broke the game open to a 9-4 lead and closed it out.
That ball tipped over the top, but a net violation will nullify the dig made by Cheyenne Husky. Yeah, Ramad Al Hassan stands 6'4", has a 6'8" wingspan, and touches 11'3". That is thin air.
And that puts her about 3 feet. Sorry. I gotta do my math right. 4 feet up. Oh boy, but that's not a good touch by Al Hassan. That goes out of bounds. That puts her about 4 feet above the height of a women's volleyball net.
Florida has got to settle in receiving. Knope has been pretty solid, and Michaela Fecke and Nebraska have done a wonderful job of finding seams, as we showed you before the start of the third set, and also targeting individual players.
And she was attacking a seam there, caused some trouble.
Al Hassan once again. Al Hassan now with 5 kills on 13 swings. Joseph with 7. Carly Snyder's taken 31 swings to get to 6 kills. Sweet is blocked on the outside by Snyder of Florida.
And Paul, it's been quite a while since Florida even got a stuff block. They got a bunch, came out early, and then just have not been able to put themselves in good spots because they haven't been causing enough trouble on Nebraska's first touch. That one going over, and they waste the opportunity. That's the first thing you have to do as a blocker, Paul. You look at the pass come off the arms, and you identify, is it coming over? If it is, I take care of it. If it's not, then I can worry about the setter. And they forgot to take care of that overpass.
Second opportunity missed here early in the third set. Remember the over dig by Carly Snyder. And then that play is unforgivable.
And a poor contact. And a wide set. Don't want to push hitters wide of the sideline.
Nice dig in the backcourt by Gregory. Shot up into the block, restart the point. Here is Husky working line, and that's going to be a net violation called against number 26 in red, Stivrins of Nebraska.
Boy, Florida really lucky to win that rally. A wide set, a tight set, just not great contacts either on the first or the second one, putting their hitters in lots of trouble against a good Nebraska block.
Florida passed the ball exceptionally well on Thursday night against Stanford. Is this just Nebraska being the best serving team in the country right now?
I think they're one of the best. All the teams that we talked to felt in this semifinals that Nebraska had the advantage as servers, as a serving team, and the advantage as a passing team. Trying to figure out what the conversation is here, and there's a challenge going on.
Yeah, there's a net, no doubt about it. And the Florida coaching staff, look, the net was called, and the coaches from Nebraska were slowing things down a little bit, and Florida was none too happy about that. Now with Florida leading 7-6, again in a must-win situation. If you're just joining us, Nebraska won the opening set 25-22 thanks to a 7-0 run after they trailed 15-11. Another look, there's Albright. Yeah, there's no question about the net violation. It was called immediately by the official. Then Nebraska took the second set easily.
One possible argument they might be making is that it was her hair, but clearly you could see her elbow and her shoulder touching the net. Hair can touch, the rest of you can't.
Tyler Hildebrand still speaking with the second referee, Brian Hemmelgarn, and we're told that Nebraska did burn a challenge there. Here is Al Hassan. Back to it. Florida trailing 2-0, leading 7-6. Albright off the top of the tape and out of bounds. Very easy. That is a lollipop, but nice blocking that time by Florida. And again, this ball right on the sideline. Cheyenne Husky at 6'2". Pretty good blocker on the outside, wearing number 11. There she is for Florida.
And you know what? If you're going to block like that, I guess you better just put patty cake serves in and give your team a chance, because that last one crossed the net by about 5 feet. Little better on that.
A little better indeed. And a timeout called by Nebraska. So now it's Florida's turn to come out of the locker room and take the momentum. On top of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, looking for their first ever national championship. Leading Nebraska here in the third, 10-6.
Florida recruited me very late in my recruiting process, and as soon as I met Mary Wise, I fell in love with her. She was just somebody that was so that I look up to, and that I wanted to be, I wanted to be a better volleyball player for her, and I wanted to be a better female for her, and she really influences a lot of people in her life and in their careers.
There is Mary Wise again in her 27th season. She began her head coaching career, Karch, at the ripe old age of 21 at Iowa State. The only woman to coach a team to the NCAA championship match not once but twice. Sweet is Doug. Boy, nice look that time. Kelly Hunter just reading the situation beautifully out to Sweet.
And she's going against the best blocking target there. Kramer struggles a little, especially against somebody who contacts the ball as high as Jazz Sweet does. So that's a good matchup for Nebraska. Opposite Jazz Sweet against Carly Snyder, left side blocker.
Here is defensive specialist Sydney Townsend, one of 5 members of the Nebraska squad that won a national championship in 2015. Snyder, nice look down inside. Cut that ball away from the block and defense of Nebraska.
There's that transition you were talking about, Paul. And finally, Florida gets Snyder in a place where she can take a big swing. Right from the start, she's been put in some really poor spots. Well off the net, wide of the sideline.
7 kills now for Snyder, and has had a busy night. Nice save that time by Albright. Florida looking to take advantage. Not a good first contact by Joseph. And that's going to be a double contact called against Nebraska, and Florida continues their advantage here in the third, 12-7. Nebraska fans, and there are a lot of them, have been taken out of this third set, at least for the moment, Karch.
Yeah, and you can see Florida causing much more trouble with their serve. Now setter Kelly Hunter for Nebraska is the one having to run around to run her offense, but Albright gets the Huskers out of trouble with that cross-court off-speed shot.
The second team All-American Albright out of North Aurora, Illinois, with a very nice little cut into the cross court. Better set that time to Snyder once again, and finds a piece of real estate in the deep corner down the line. Yeah, Carly Snyder has had some very, very difficult opportunities. I wouldn't even call them opportunities. She's just trying to keep the ball in play.
But the last 2 swings she had, that's why she got 2 kills. The set is what made those kills. And there's another trouble play for Nebraska. Has to go to the left side. Oh, don't want to dig that so close.
And that's going to be a lift called against Rachel Kramer. You called it, Karch Kirai. Carolyn Knoop right there on the spot, but dug the ball over the net back to Fecky.
You could land a helicopter over there, Paul. Just put it in the middle of the court and don't try to put it 6 inches from the net.
I'll have to remember that. Which kind of helicopter cards? I was
Any
thinking.
kind.
That's right.
An Apache, whatever.
Sokolowski, I'll tell you, Nebraska, a digging machine. They've let a couple of balls drop here. That was an obvious tip coming from number 9 Sokolowski, and the Cornhuskers not there to cover it. Good for Florida, now leading by 5.
Overpass that Florida misses an opportunity on. They can slam that to the floor, but Brianna Holman came up with it, kept it alive for Nebraska.
Fecky now with 13 kills, make it 14 on 38 swings. Both teams doing a good job defensively, holding their opponents way below their season average. Hunter with a tough serve. Fecky again, ripping into the cross court, no touch, missed it out of bounds, a break for Florida. Fecky looking over, thinking about whether or not that ball was touched, but remember that Nebraska has already used 1 challenge. You only have 3 total throughout the course of the match, irrespective of whether you're right or wrong. I think they should add to that total, and I think they will.
There's a better touch.
Perfect dig to Sokolowski off the outside.
Yep, you want to give your setter something to work with, and Carly Snyder with a great defensive play. So they get the swing and the point.
Back to Fecky, a little more RPMs on that one. That was an angry swing for Michaela Fecky.
Yeah, she just drills that. That's a great choice because the middle, Ramad Al-Hassan, was so late arriving. She had some high seam to attack at. Setter on the run for Florida.
A tough swing again from behind the 3-meter line. Transition opportunity. Albright not yet. Albright looking high flat. No question she got a piece of the block.
What a smart swing. Block was in great position, and instead of hitting it into their elbows, watch it go high off those fingers. Ramad Al-Hassan trying to give a little help to the referees, calling no touch, but went off her fingers. Another low set. Got to push that up to 11 feet.
Al-Hassan again working so hard to get the ball to the floor.
And that's something Florida has struggled with. You'd think they'd have it down by now. Setting Al-Hassan high enough. She jumped so high. They got all season to work on that. They did a much better job of it against Stanford 2 days ago.
That ball missed out of bounds by Sweet, who was so superb in the semifinals. Sweet had 12 kills, but so far on the night, she is really struggling. Just 3 kills, 12 swings, but hitting negative because she's got more errors than kills. Ace serve! One of the passing and defensive stars in the semifinals for Florida. Paige Hammonds dials up the ace. And a timeout called by Nebraska, and Florida again facing a must-win situation coming out of the locker room at the intermission. Now on top, 19-12. Back with more in Kansas City for the national championship after this. Nebraska tied for 3rd, most all-time. Florida, their first ever championship. They were back in the title match in 2003 when they lost to USC that particular year back. In the national championship picture, that ball high off the block of Al-Hassan and out of bounds. turnaround here on both sides of the net in the third, Karch.
Yeah, and watching the faces of Florida, they just look like they've loosened up a little bit. Certainly they have also unleashed at the service line, causing lots more problems. A couple of aces and some near aces. That's giving them walking chances.
Oh, Hassan again. Very good contact, reminiscent of late Thursday night against Stanford.
Yeah, when you put the ball in the middle of the court near the net, Al Hassan can take those swings and really neutralize the block. There are 4 hands in front of her going right up and over.
She will give way to 5'5" freshman defensive specialist Chanel Hargraves. Will come on and serve. The 4-time All-American will head to the sideline now, 7 of 17, getting up towards an efficiency of 300. Sweet again, down the line and out of bounds.
And Nebraska has the matchup they want. They like Sweet hitting against Carly Snyder. Not one of the stronger outside blockers for Florida.
Jazz Sweet really struggling so far on the night. That ball thrown up into the block and down by Stivrins as she registers the kill. 21-14 is the advantage for Florida. Florida the number 2 seed, Nebraska the number 5 seed overall. And going back to last year, a reminder that Stanford won the national championship, their 7th, coming out of the 6th seed. Dig in the cross court beautifully by Maloney. Maloney again right on target. Outside to Albright. Wow, ball being battered around. Could have been a double contact, and the point goes to Nebraska. And the Big Red Machine, about 12,000 strong, is starting to get re-engaged in the third set. Knope right on the dime, and Kramer able to pull that ball back across body. Are those serving errors? Knope is just really passing the ball well right now.
I think she's calmed down a little. They had that intermission to talk about it, and Coach Wise talked when she came back out on the floor. She said, we have to get our middles more involved in the offense, but it starts with the contacts of people like Knope.
Overpass.
And another blown overpass.
And ripped into the cross court, and Florida pays the price. Lauren Stivrins registering her 7th kill.
You know, if you're not going to slam that to the floor, just stay on the ground and pass it and run your offense. Kramer giving back a really easy play to Nebraska.
Knope again, perfect first contact, good block on the outside by Hunter. And Shaina Joseph with the unforced error, and now Mary Wise is thinking about a timeout. It had been all Florida. They led 16-10, 19-12, but now Nebraska creeping back in and taking advantage of some miscues by the Gators, that still trail 22-17. Shaina Joseph, we talked about what an impactful player she has been, but a very, very gifted athlete as well. She'll play for the Canadian national team and has been getting off the floor big time all season long.
Yep. Some of the players are wearing a jump measurement device, the Vert. And Shaina Joseph has the max of the evening, 36.4 inches. Yeah, I think it was on that very jump. And that's where she does her best, is hitting behind the setter on the right sideline.
If Shaina Joseph isn't going to go on and play professionally somewhere around the world next year, I think Mary Wise will find a place for her on the bench. She's got a future as a coach. Timeout here in Kansas City, and want to remind tonight on SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern, catch the best stories of the day. Impact on the AFC playoff picture. Mello on his return to New York, and the top 10 plays of the college football season. All of that coming up tonight on SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern. Florida by far And the score shows it. Karch, just in this set, they're hitting 294. When we talk about hitting efficiency, it's not a batting average. In volleyball, you take the number of kills, subtract the number of errors. An error is when you get stuffed or hit a ball out of bounds, and then divide that by the number of attempts, and that gives you the efficiency.
Yeah, look at that. 2 for Florida. Much cleaner game of volleyball, and they're making Nebraska earn their points more, even on a play like that, because now they get a free ball back and a swing for Joseph.
Joseph up into the block, covered by Knoop. And Snyder, Carly Snyder going high flat. And really a wonderful swing by the All-American number 4 going back to serve.
And so far she has 1 ace as she puts that kill away, now going to the line. She's the only player for Florida with that jump spin serve. She's going to attack it hard, create some problems there.
Fecky from well off the net and missed it just long. Carly Snyder had 3 aces in their semifinal win over Stanford on Thursday night. Set points now for Florida, and a lot of them.
Nice up.
Perfect dig by Knoop.
Another one.
Back to Fecky again, not this time. Really good defensive effort by Snyder, Knoop, and the Florida Gators. 1 set point saved. Right side to Joseph, why not? And Florida's on the board. Florida coming out of the intermission, and they were a different team. Much more efficient at the offensive end, hit over 300, did a wonderful job as they take the third, 25-18. Florida on the board in the third set, winning at 25-18, but Nebraska still with a 2-1 advantage for the 37th NCAA championship. And what turned it around in the third, Karch, for Florida?
It started with better serving pressure. You see the ace from Ramat Al-Hassan there, another ace, and lots of near aces, so they got more chances to attack in transition, and they put the ball in better spots. People like Carly Snyder. And then with those touches, they're just locating the ball well, and then finally they set Ramat Al-Hassan better up where she can hit with almost a straight elbow and take the block out of play. They did that very well in the semis. It took them a little while to get going, setting her well and get her going offensively.
Florida passed the ball much better, and Nebraska did not. They were passing at over 60% perfect, but Nebraska dropped to just 39% accuracy in terms of receiving there in the third set. So John Cook certainly has some things to be concerned about. Florida going for their first ever national championship, Nebraska for their 5th.
This is the loudest the Huskers fans have been all evening.
Tight pass, and once again thrown by Kelly Hunter very smartly off of the 6'8" Rachel Kramer.
And that's the play they won the match on 2 nights ago. A similar pass, a little too close, and she pushes it into the block, into the hand of Kramer, and throws it out of bounds.
Kelly Hunter's hitting .625. 5 kills on 8 attempts. Joseph into the cross court, dug beautifully by Nebraska. And down the line again. The digging machine rears its ugly head here in the 4th set.
The big red digging machine coming up with it. And notice Fecky, she hit cross court, and then she mixed her speed and mixed her location, put it high line. Good hitters want to hit different spots on the court and different depths.
Kramer is stuffed out of the middle by Holman and Fecky. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, I think the big digging machine was in idle in that last set, and John Cook felt the same way. During sets, in between sets, he said to his team, look, we've got to get back to serve and pass. This crowd is so loud and raucous. Everybody just settle down and play volleyball. He wanted them to calm down, reset the button, and they have done that so far.
Thank you, Holly. Back row violation by the setter, Ali Monserrat, and Mary Wise has to call a quick timeout. Nebraska with a big early lead over Florida. Quick reminder that Holiday Hoops are back on ESPN Sunday with a great top 25 matchup. It's the number 7 North Carolina Tar Heels. They're in Knoxville to take on the 20th ranked Volunteers of Tennessee. College basketball next Sunday at 3 Eastern on ESPN. Coming out of the timeout here is the libero Maloney once again. Boy, that is such a good swing by Carly Snyder. That is a big-time kill off the left side.
And it started with such a good set by Ali Monserrat. She had to scramble and use her forearm platform, but put Snyder in a great spot. Now Snyder at the line with that hard jump spin.
And misses that one into the net.
She actually has not given Nebraska as much trouble as I thought she would with that serve. They don't have many jump spinners themselves, and when you don't practice against it, it's harder to be ready for it in a match.
Joseph again, looking for some hands, missed it out of bounds. China Joseph, her 5th hitting error, 8 kills on 22 swings. She's been leading them offensively throughout the course of this tournament. Kramer, dug by McKenzie. Nebraska fans wanted a lift and a late call. Gonna have a back row attacker. The point is going to go to Nebraska and Florida in all kinds of trouble here in the 4th. Nebraska leading 7-1.
Yeah, what happens is if you're a setter in the backcourt and you jump and contact the ball completely above the net and put it over the net, then you're considered a backcourt attacker or a backcourt attacking violation.
Boy, that is a tough call in Florida. Florida doesn't need any more trouble. Good serve down the line again by Hunter. Remember that Florida has already used one of their 2 timeouts. Wow, Nebraska just dominating right now, and a substitution coming on. Quickly Paige Hammonds, who was so solid receiving on Thursday night.
Yep, they're trying to stem the bleeding here with a better passer so that Kelly Hunter has less space to attack down the line.
Joseph again. And she's stuffed. Brianna Holman out of the middle.
What a good move by Fecky. And Holman, you see her scramble back in there using... Middles have to have various techniques. That time she jumped off 1 foot to get herself back in the play.
Joseph again looking down the line, finds a small seam. Kills have been tough to come by for China Joseph, hitting .366 so far on the year, and really has been so clutch.
And remember, she only played 2 points in the whole NCAA tournament last year for Florida, this time leading them all the way to the final.
Hammonds looking for a touch. Pretty nice try into the deep cross-court corner, but missed it long. Florida in this 4th set, just 2 of 11 with 4 errors. Nebraska solid, 2 of 5. Here is Fecky.
Ooh, that's a rocket serve. Well controlled by Florida.
Ooh. Albright high up into the block. There was a little bit of a collision, and Annika Albright will be called for violating the center line, number 17 in red. It's a dangerous play.
Yeah, that's how ankles get sprained. If you land on somebody's foot at the net or step under the net, somebody else lands on yours.
Still plenty of time for Florida, but they got to start cleaning things up and taking advantage of opportunities. And here is one. Can they score in transition? Tough chance. Ball to the floor. A lucky break that time. Brianna Holman reached behind the block and took the ball away from one of her defenders. Right side again, looking for Sweet. Jazz Sweet has struggled on the night, but comes through there. The freshman out of Kansas with her 4th kill.
And this is what we saw her doing all through the semis. She's been doing it all through the tournament, is seeing that middle blocker flying across and hitting it back inside sharper cross court.
Was really efficient on Thursday night against Penn State, and a rotational error is going to be called against Nebraska. Wow, that is an interesting call. That's like an illegal formation, to use a football analogy. John Cook's going to take a walk.
Did they have the, trying to figure out if they have the wrong server or what?
Well, Brian Hemmelgard, the second referee, called his first signal was a rotational error for Nebraska. And it's going to stand. Nebraska on top, still 11-5. Albright, named for Annika Sorenstam, who's got a very nice short game, and he must be a pretty good chipper as well.
And she chipped this one just inside the block. It's not a hard-driven ball, but Carly Snyder, as the off blocker for Florida, unable to read that wrist that got around the ball. Now Paige Hammond's having trouble with the serve receive.
On the slide, Stivrins is stuffed. Remember that play. Maybe some momentum. Stivrins on the slide and rejected by Al Hassan, along with Carly Snyder.
And also remember that rotational violation called by the referee when I didn't think it had any impact on the game. I don't like the referees getting involved at this point of a match with a call like that.
That ball served out of bounds by Al Hassan. She'll go to the sideline. Nebraska leading 2-1 and 13-6. Albright again, as all the Cornhuskers do, looking over to the sideline to head coach John Cook for serving instructions.
Nice up by Maloney.
Off the block and out of bounds. Was that inside the prop of the helicopter?
Yeah, that would have landed right on top of the Apache. You don't want to put the ball too close to the net. I love those high off defensive plays. Give your setter time to make a good set and put Fecky in great position.
Oh, lucky break there. That ball to the floor by Cheyenne Husky. And to look at the transition hitting numbers to your point, Karch, Nebraska is hitting .229 to win long rallies, whereas on the other side, Florida only hitting .073. So just dig the ball, you young players, in the middle of the court and give somebody like Michaela Fecky an opportunity to go up there and rip it. Ace serve here for Florida.
And that's exactly how Florida exerted their presence in the third set to get back into this match, is serving tough, having it cross the net by as few inches as possible.
Fecky over the top. Wonderful on-time delivery that time by Hunter. Well, the ball was called out of bounds, but that was definitely a touch.
They called a net on Fecky.
Wow, I did not see that. That ball didn't look like it was set that close to the net, but Fecky followed through and got some contact.
And Nebraska is claiming that Fecky did not net until the ball was down to the floor. Let's watch both the ball and, oh, she touched the net before. See, the ball still has not hit the ground, and here we're back in play. Good call by the referees.
Joseph over the top, tapping down. The referee taking a close look at it, and here comes Florida. Remember, they have looked up at a number of teams before. They were trailing USC in the regional finals in Gainesville in the 5th set, 9-5.
That looks like Joseph went over to get that ball. She has to have some part available. Great look on the replay.
Scoring run, Florida right back in it. A rotational error by Nebraska, and we'll take another look, but was some part of that ball in the zone on top of the net. Let's take a look at it. Nebraska calling the timeout, now leading 14-10.
Some part of this ball, even a millimeter, has to be on the other side, on the Florida side of the net. It has to break the plane. Did not look like it broke the plane on that. Florida, the beneficiary. And here's another look. Florida, the beneficiary of a few calls here. Plus, as you called it, remember that big block by Snyder on the slide attack by Nebraska.
Yeah. Ooh. And that's right in front of the first referee. And afterwards, Stivrins along with Joseph, both of them pleading their cases.
Yeah, if we run that tape further, you can see Stivrins saying, no way, she did not have an option at that ball.
On Tuesday, catch the Cherubunde Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN between Lane Kiffin's Florida Atlantic Owls and the Zips from Akron, live on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Say that 10 times fast. Oh, you got that promo down.
Florida has got new life. They trailed 4-0, 5-1. It looked like Nebraska was on their way.
And it started with Monserrat at the line. Two of their better servers. Monserrat this serving turn, and the next serving turn, Carly Snyder. Remember, she missed her last one in the net.
Fecky, when you need a kill, that one over the top and down. Michaela Fecky now leading all attackers in this match with 19 kills, already taken 53 swings. On the other side, Snyder has 10. Joseph has 10 kills. Joseph again. Look at the dig. Wow. Quick look at the stats. How many kills does Maloney have on the year?
That's how you get a kill as a libero. Didn't mean to send it back over. Just wanted to get some hands on it. What a play. And the ace.
Kenzie Maloney. How important is the libero? You're getting your answer right now. 3-0 run for Maloney in Nebraska.
Remember in the semis, Nebraska down 11-8 in that first one. Maloney going on a long service run, really effective at putting opponents into trouble.
Good touch by Fecky. Right side. Holman off the block, but right on the sideline. Good recovery by Florida. And here's Carly Snyder. She is capable of going on a run. Sokolowski will come back on. Better blocker, better attacker in transition, replacing Hammonds.
But it took her a long time to get in the game. It actually disrupted the serving routine of Snyder.
Out of the back row. Albright with a tough kill. Look at John Cook up off the bench. He is very mild-mannered. He is not right now.
Didn't mind that one.
Albright superb in the backcourt, 7 kills, adding some offense. Hunter back at the line. Joseph again, off the block and out of bounds. Can Florida mount another miraculous comeback like they did last week against USC in Gainesville? Speaking of liberos, Carolyn Knope has been superb for Florida. Holman off off the block and down. Holman now with 7 kills. Let's go over to Holly.
Well, Brianna Holman is a senior today, and an unusual thing at serve and pass this morning. They put up on the Jumbotron the graduation ceremony that was happening at Nebraska. Right in the middle, the gentleman conducting graduation said, and we're missing one special graduate, Brianna Holman. She was able to see herself graduate from the Jumbotron.
That's what happens if you're a star volleyball player at Nebraska. Allie Gregory coming on now to serve for Florida. They've got time, but have to be perfect, Karch. What do you tell your team in a situation like this? You can get ahead of yourself and put too much pressure on. Right side to Sweet.
Nebraska's taking huge swings right now, Paul. Sweet, Fecky, Albright earlier working that cut shot around Florida, forcing Florida to call its last timeout.
Nebraska on top 20-13. Nebraska has won this national championship 4 times. In '95, John Cook's first year in 2000, again in 2006, and a couple of years ago in 2015. Florida, their second time in the championship match and first since 2003. Mary Wise looking to become the first woman ever to lead a women's college volleyball team to the national championship. She's the only one ever to lead a team, as she did in 2003, to the title match. Record crowds on the weekend. Kansas City has been a superb host. Next year, the national semifinals will be in Minneapolis. Yesterday, 18,347, and tonight, a new record, 18,516. Be sure and join us for the live post-game championship trophy presentation. That'll be coming up right after match point, immediately following on ESPN3. Back with Karch Karai and Holly Rowe. Paul Sunderland here. And again, it was going to be a story of serve and receive, and now who would come through with big transition swings, and Michaela Fecky in Nebraska getting the better of it. There is Atherton on to serve. Shank pass. Oh, what a good swing by Snyder. How important was that?
I like the tough serve that Atherton sent across the net for Nebraska to create trouble.
Tough serve, but drifts out of bounds. Service errors starting to add up now for Florida. That is their 9th. Both teams have 4 aces. Nebraska 4 points away. Albright looking for some sideline, doesn't get it there, but a net. Oh, they got a micro touch. Albright is going, yeah, knew it all the time. A micro touch, and Mary Wise, this is good use of the challenge. An absolute micro touch down the line. Look at number 11. Ball was definitely out of bounds. So Florida is challenging that there was no touch against Husky.
And you know what I look at, Paul? Albright's reaction here. She's going to come down. Don't quite see it in that replay, but she's going to come down and just curl her shoulders over and basically concede that she did not get the play to happen. As we leave it rolling, watch Albright. And she doesn't protest that at all, and she concedes that that ball was out of bounds and did not touch the block on the way out. So that's what tells me there was no touch.
The best angle we had was from behind, and it looked like there was indeed no touch. but because it was called, Mary Wise has to burn one of her challenges. That ball was out of bounds, so that should be overturned. The initial ruling, yep, ball was out of bounds. I thought so.
Yeah.
So good use of the challenge by the Florida coaching staff. Body language rarely lies.
Exactly, and huge because that takes
a 2-point switch.
The point away from Nebraska, already within 4 of another NCAA title.
On the slide, Stivron's able to come right back and put the ball away. And how about that pass?
On a serve that just dropped, had the bottom drop out of it. So many assertive swings taken by Nebraska.
Stivron's with a kill, but that was Sydney Townsend with a wonderful reaction and first ball. Fecky, one-on-one, blocked. Stivron's nice choice over the top. Nebraska just 2 points away. The story for this Husker team, why not us? Perfect pass, Hunter going over the top and down. NCAA championship point for the Cornhuskers. Just inside the end line, Rachel Kramer keeps Florida's hopes alive. 1 championship point saved. Nebraska has been passing the ball perfectly all night long for head coach John Cook. They need 1 more play. Fecky. Fecky again for the win. New players, Karch, 2 new assistant coaches, and it's no longer a question. It is us.
And it was a reinvention.
Just a magnificent tournament performance for John Cook and his staff, and Michaela Fecky. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers are your national champions in 2017. Michaela Fecky once again was the offensive star for Nebraska with 20 kills, but they got good contribution. For John Cook, it's his 4th national championship as a head coach. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, Kelly Hunter, a senior setter, at the beginning of the year, you guys did a PowerPoint presentation with your team that you believed this moment could happen. Why was the belief so strong at the beginning of this year?
Yeah, the belief was so strong because we knew it was up to us. It was all our side of the court, and that's the way we've been thinking all year long, is if we play great volleyball, no one can touch us, and that's just been our motto, is playing on our side of the court.
For you tonight, they came storming back in the third set, but what was your team able to do to collect yourself in the fourth to really emphatically win this?
Yeah, we just went back to our breathing and went back to staying calm, because that's when we're our best. We're our best when we're not too hyped up or not too chill. So we just tried to all take deep breaths and just kind of settle, and we just came out really strong from there.
As a kid from small town Nebraska, to go out your senior season, 2 national championships, what's that mean?
Yeah, I'm really emotional right now. It's awesome. I love these girls and I love this group, and I love our new coaching stuff. But it's just so awesome that our state turned up, and being from Nebraska, it's even more special. And just love this state, and I love this team.
What do you say to all the fans who got in their cars, came here, the fans who are back home watching in the arena on the Jumbotron? How have they helped you to this moment?
Yeah, our fans are truly the best in the country. You can see how much red there is here, and I don't know if we could do it without them. They're the best fans in the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Florida got on the board in the third, Karch, but it was all Nebraska from start to finish in the decisive fourth set.
Forcing a timeout at 4-0, that calm and that breathing that they used turned it around, and they got up to that 7-1 lead also and never looked back.
You can see John Cook say, Michaela, high line, and she listened as Michaela Fecky put this championship point away.
There is no rebuilding at Nebraska.
Mary Wise and the Florida Gators had a magnificent season advancing to this championship match. As we were told, and they repeated, they have been relevant. Would they be real? And they were. Nebraska was just so solid in their serve and receive game, and that's where they won this championship. That's what they hung their hat on all season long. Let's go back down to Holly Rowe.
Given that you lost 3 first-team All-Americans, people were pounding that in your head at the beginning of the season, that this would be a rebuilding year. How did you strike back and prove everyone wrong?
You saw that big hug there with all our people, our new coaches, and we got these kids believing. Kelly Hunter's unbelievable leader, and her senior class, and I don't know, that's all I know how to explain. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, I'm as shocked as anybody that we're in this position right here, but these kids believed, and you know, sometimes it's always not the most talent, it's the best team, and this team defines being the best team. Their whole is way bigger than the sum of their parts, and this is an unbelievable team, how they play. It's just beautiful to watch.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Holly.
Congratulations to Nebraska head coach John Cook, and be sure and join us for the live post-game championship trophy ceremony immediately following our match right here. That'll be on ESPN3. Once again, our final score. Nebraska are your national champions, 3-1 over Florida. Coming up next is college basketball, Utah and BYU. For more from the trophy presentation ceremony, go to ESPN3. For Karch Kirai, Holly Rowe, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Paul Sunderland. The championship belongs in Lincoln.